Not that long ago, I did a video talking about how Falcon and the Winter Soldier's buzz is pretty much non existent. This article right here from piratesandprincesses.com by WDW Pro laid out how basically no one's talking about this show. I wish this chart was a little bit bigger. That's some small criticism I have of this article. But basically, no one's talking about this show. It had a little bit of buzz its first day, and then it's just kind of tapered off since then, and I don't think it's going to come back. One of the biggest problems with this show is that instead of focusing on issues in the Marvel universe, they're focusing on issues that are prevalent in our society, and it's not really something that people are looking for. You have to think, when you turn on the news, all of this stuff just dominates. Like it's all anyone on the news talks about. It's in just about every piece of programming now, and people are just sick of it. This is why you see stuff like this from Newsweek here. As NBA ratings decline, poll shows 34% watched less sports over SJ messages. This is a pretty big common theme. People are just tired of this. It's so constant. People are sick of it. And it's not just me saying this. Check this out. This is from The Gamer. Maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier should pick just one villain. And what do they want to be the main villain of the show? Racism. That's right. They say right here, why do they have so many villains struggling when they just get in the way? When they just get in the way of Falcon and the Winter Soldier's themes of racism. Check it out right here. After talking about all of the show's villains, they say all this, and you could still argue that the main villain in Falcon and the Winter Soldier is racism in the USA. And then they say this after talking about all of the issues that Sam faces. They say this. With Isaiah Bradley, the hidden rock super soldier, clearly set to return for a bigger part in the show's second half, Ross will no doubt continue to have a huge part of Falcon and the Winter Soldier's storytelling. So why are so many villains getting in the way of it? This article is saying that it needs to be more prevalent. Okay? And there is a lot of these themes in this show, whether you see it or not, it's there. And it's stupid when you consider like all of the issues going on in the MCU. In the MCU, there's a universe where you have people that were erased from existence for 5 years were all of a sudden just brought back. You know, if you really want to explore prejudice and discrimination, why don't you explore the issues that the people that were erased from existence and brought back likely face? Because that would probably happen. Because I would imagine a lot of people that were left behind probably got boosted up in their jobs, probably got promotions, more money. And some of them were probably displaced back down to bring like the new people in. That to me is a way more interesting theme. And if you really wanted to look at some real world issues within the MCU, that would have been a good way to do it. But instead, they're pushing that back. That doesn't matter. And then they're going to go ahead and just move into the normal BLM stuff that is just dominating the news. And look, people are just tired of it. NBA, it's very prominent in the NBA. And that's why you're seeing a lot of people just tune out. They're like, I'm out. I'm good. I've had enough. And you're going to see more of that. So the reason I'm talking about this is because a rumor that comes from Overlord DVD that I tend to believe, because it really makes sense if you look at the trends of everything that's going on with sports and a lot of other shows, is people are just tuning out, particularly at one scene, which I think is very, very telling. So according to Overlord DVD, TOTS, which is something that tells data, some kind of, or TOTS, I'm sorry. TOTS is logged on Disney Plus whenever a viewer stops watching a particular movie or television episode. It's useful to the bean counters at Disney Plus to note when they lose a particular viewer because this can give them valuable data about how the show is doing and what the viewer thinks about it. He goes on to state, the source claims that around 5 p.m. on Saturday across the board, the timeout tune stamp numbers for the second episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier went crazy, with people turning the show off in droves all at around the same part of the show within seconds of each other. And the moment they did that was when the BLM themes were injected into the show. To me, that makes sense. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a scene where Bucky and Sam are walking through a neighborhood and some officers just roll up and start hassling Sam for no reason. And then they turn to Bucky and they say, "Are you okay, sir?" and all this stuff. And according to Overlord DVD, 79.9% of the people that watched that episode tuned out. They turned off the show. I believe at that moment, I rolled my eyes. Like, really? This is what we're doing? You know, there's so many things you could do with that blip stuff, and this is where we're going. This is going to be a big theme, and a lot of the rumors around this show were saying that this show is going to dive headfirst into identity politics. And they've flirted with it here and there, and it's going to get more so prevalent as time goes on. They're already doing it right now with John Walker being the Captain America and then Sam kind of getting overlooked even though he gave the shield up. They're going to move this to America's just not ready for Sam Wilson to be a Captain America. That's where the show's going to go, at least according to the rumors that came out. And I really don't think anybody is going to care, even though the theme is with people taking the mantle of Captain America, it's usually just everybody that takes it can't handle it in their own way. Like, there's only one man that's ever been able to handle it, and that's Steve Rogers. And I think this character was fine as the Falcon. This is why he is not Captain America anymore in the comics, and they brought back Steve. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to do that with the MCU, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do. But the writers for the MCU are better, so I'm thinking maybe they'll do a better job with him as Captain America than they did in the comics, but, we'll see. But they talk about that in this article, how John Walker, they're like, he's here to explore this thing. It's him as Captain America, but they just don't want to jump too far into it. Even with Battlestar, he's got a built-in defense with that guy being his friend. It just makes no sense. And I don't know. I believe this rumor that people jumped off of the show at that point because that's just not what people are looking for. And if you take into account things that we see that go across other mediums with people tuning out when you put this political crap in your show, and the fact that there's data proving that the interest is just not there if you check Google Trends, this rumor makes sense. It really does. I think, because that scene was in your face. So I think this show's in trouble. I really do. And it'll be interesting to see as more data comes out. It's tough because Disney doesn't reveal numbers. This is what sucks about streaming platforms, is they can just say something's a hit. We'll never really know. We have, there's a company named Samba TV, and they can kind of capture some stuff, but they can't tell you how long people tune into a show or stuff like that. I believe it's kind of basic numbers. I'll have to check out their data and see. But that's the closest we get. And that's kind of going to be a thing as we move forward in entertainment. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe this or not? I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Share the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.